The rain fell in sheets that night, drumming against the windows of the old house like 1,000 whispers. Ayan's car wove carefully through the slick streets, headlights cutting swaths of light through the downpour. His heart was heavy. It had been 3 years since his father had died, and tonight he had returned to the family home for the first time. The air smelled of wet stone and decay, of memories that refused to fade. He parked in the driveway, the gravel crunching under his tires. The house loomed before him, tall and dark, a shadow of the man he had once called father. The front door had been left unlocked, as if the house itself had been waiting for him. Ayan stepped inside, the wooden floor groaning under his weight. The smell of dust and damp plaster hit him immediately, and he shivered. He remembered the nights he had spent here as a child. Laughter echoing through the corridors, the smell of his mother's cooking, his father's deep voice reading late into the night. And yet, there was a hollowness now, a void where warmth had once been. He shivered again, pushing the memories aside, and made his way to the study, the room his father had always locked before bedtime. The study door creaked as he opened it. Books lay scattered, some fallen from shelves as if in a hurry to escape. On the desk, a small box caught his eye. He picked it up, brushing off the thick layer of dust. Inside, there was a stack of letters, tied together with a faded ribbon. He hesitated, then untied it, unfolding the first letter. It was addressed to him. Ayan, if you are reading this, it means I am gone. There are things you must know. Things about this family that you cannot ignore. Father? His hands shook. He had always thought his father was a man of integrity, a man who had never harmed anyone, who had loved him unconditionally. But these letters hinted at something else. Secrets buried beneath polite smiles and Sunday dinners. He began reading, each letter revealing layers of deception. His father had been involved in business dealings that skirted the line of legality. Worse, he had enemies, people who had waited for decades for a chance at revenge. And most shocking of all, his father's closest friend, the man who had helped raise him, had betrayed him for wealth, leaving Ayan's family vulnerable. Hours passed as Ayan read, the storm outside intensifying. Lightning flashed, illuminating the room in stark, violent bursts, followed by thunder that shook the very walls. He felt as if the house itself was alive, urging him to continue, demanding that he uncover every hidden truth. There was a sound then, a floorboard creaking upstairs. Ayan froze. His breath caught. He told himself it was the wind, or perhaps a stray animal. But instinct screamed otherwise. Slowly, cautiously, he ascended the staircase, each step groaning under his weight. The hallway was narrow and dark, lined with portraits of ancestors staring down at him. He paused at a door at the end. It was locked. His father's old study upstairs. Something compelled him to open it. He found a small key tucked into a drawer in the master bedroom. The lock yielded with a soft click. Inside, the room smelled of old paper and neglect. On the desk, a journal lay open. Its pages were filled with his father's handwriting, detailing not only business betrayals but family betrayals. His uncle, his father's brother, had siphoned money from the company for years. His mother had known. Worse, she had hidden it from him. Ayan staggered back, disbelief and anger warring inside him. The truth he had always sought, the explanation for the tension, the whispered arguments he had heard as a child, was now staring him in the face. His family had not been the safe haven he had imagined. They had been built on lies. And then he heard a sound he would never forget. A low, deliberate step behind him. He turned. His mother stood in the doorway. Her face was pale, her eyes wet with tears. "Why are you here?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I had to know," Ayan said. "I had to understand. All of this. The secrets. The lies. Why didn't you tell me?" She swallowed hard. "I wanted to protect you. I wanted to keep you innocent. But some things cannot stay buried forever." She stepped aside, revealing a small safe embedded in the wall. Ayan opened it with trembling hands. Inside there were documents, contracts, letters, and photographs that implicated his uncle, his father's closest friend, even people outside the family. It was evidence of years of corruption, of betrayals that stretched beyond what he had imagined. Suddenly, the lights went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Ayan felt a hand on his shoulder, icy and firm. He turned, but there was no one. Panic rose in his chest. He fumbled for his phone, but there was no signal. The storm had cut everything off. A soft whisper reached his ears, almost drowned by the rain. "You should not have—" Ayan's heart pounded. He ran down the stairs, crashing into the furniture in his haste. The front door refused to budge. He tried the windows, all locked. Someone was in the house with him. He could feel it. The weight of betrayal was no longer just in the past. It was here, now, threatening him. He remembered the letters, the journal, the evidence. If this person got their hands on it, the truth would vanish forever. He grabbed the box of letters and ran to the basement, the one place no one had entered in years. The door creaked as he descended, each step a struggle against the fear clawing at his mind. The basement smelled of mold and old wood. In the corner, an old chest caught his eye. He shoved the letters inside and locked it. But then he froze. A shadow moved across the basement wall, a dark figure stepping closer. "Who are you?" Ayan demanded, voice shaking. The figure stopped. A hand reached out. And then the lights flickered back on. It was his uncle, his father's brother, the man he had trusted as family. "You shouldn't have come back," the uncle said, his voice cold, stripped of the warmth that Ayan remembered. "Why?" Ayan asked, trembling. "Why betray us?" "Because you were weak," the uncle said. "Because your father let sentiment guide him, and I took what was mine." What he refused to see, Ayan realized the depth of the betrayal. Every letter, every secret, every hidden account. It had all been orchestrated by the one man who had pretended to love them, who had smiled at him as a child, who had whispered words of guidance. The uncle lunged. Ayan tried to fight back, but the man was stronger, fueled by decades of greed and hatred. They struggled, furniture crashing around them. Ayan's mother appeared at the top of the stairs, screaming for them to stop. But in the chaos, the uncle stumbled backward, hitting the railing. He fell, disappearing into the shadows of the basement. Silence followed, broken only by the pounding rain outside. Ayan ran to the basement entrance. His mother collapsed, crying, shaking. He searched for his uncle, but he was gone. And worse. In the struggle, the box of letters had been torn open. The evidence, the truth they had fought to preserve, lay scattered, sodden with rainwater and sweat. Ayan sank to the floor, holding his head. He had uncovered the truth, yes, but it had come at a cost. His father's secrets, his family's betrayals, and the one man he had trusted most, all destroyed. The house was silent now, save for the echoes of a past that could not be undone. He thought of the letters, of the journal, of everything he had discovered. They had promised answers, but answers had a price, and the price had been devastating. Hours later, when the storm passed and the first light of dawn broke through the clouds, neighbors would find the house empty. Ayan had vanished. Some would say he left to rebuild his life. Others would whisper that he had lost himself in the darkness of the family he had once loved. And in the study, the box of letters remained, torn and waterlogged, a silent testament to the truth and to the tragedy of those who sought it. The house stood still, watching, waiting, echoing the silent stories of love, betrayal, and loss. Some truths, Ayan realized, were never meant to be uncovered.